All right, today what I want to do is show you guys how to make a clay stamp. This will be your marker for when you guys are making your objects, because we'll be doing some things that they're all going to be, everybody's going to have the same shape when we get started, and we need to somehow kind of mark our materials. Artists will use these markers as well on their pottery, and that's how you know that it belongs to them. If you've ever gotten anything handmade or hand built, there more than likely is a marker or a mark of some sort on the clay pottery showing their mark, showing that it's there. So that's what we're going to work on today. So what you're going to start with is you'll have a little piece of foam block that we can carve into, and I'm going to show you how to do that here momentarily, and a half sheet of drawing paper. What you're going to do is go ahead and divide your drawing paper into 9 sections. Okay. Like so. All right. And in each of those sections, you're going to develop some sort of design or logo for yourself. It can be from your initials, or it could be abstract shape, or it can be a flower, or it could be something that represents you. If you like snowboarding, a snowboard, or goggles, or whatever. We want to try to stay away from branding, though. Like, don't draw the Nike symbol. That's come up with your own individual design. So one way to start is just doing your initials and kind of sketching them out, and begin in different ways. So I'm going to stack my initials and then so forth. So at least do 9 of them. As you're doing your design, though, we also want to keep in mind that we don't want the design to have lines. We want the lines to be shapes. Okay, so if you're going to do lines, they have to be thick, very thick lines or shapes. So think of them as shapes rather than lines. Okay. The other thing we want to remember is, and I'll remind you again when we transfer it over here, whatever way you're going to transfer it onto your block, it will be opposite when you go to print it. Okay. So you can draw it the right way, but then when you go to transfer it, you need to transfer it backwards. So I went and I messed around with some of these designs here, and you can see these are my 9 designs, starting with the S&M, just kind of messing around, and obviously it led to different things. I think I'm going to go with this one, and I kind of like it at an angle, so I'm going to use that one. So what I'm going to do is I need to draw it on here backwards from what it's going to be printed as. So it should look something like that. I mean, I'm not being too particular about it, because if it's initial, it should be backwards. I can show you that here real quick. So if I were to do that initial design, so my S would have to be backwards. So if you do mess up, you also have the other side. Okay. So once you've kind of sketched in your design and you're happy with your design, I used the shading on the part of the stuff that I want to carve out. So it's going to be these rectangles, and it's going to be these thicker lines here. Right? So just using a pencil, we're going to do this. When you get started, you can see, I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's starting to create crumbs. Get a piece of paper and please put it underneath so it's easy enough to clean up. But I'm going to go ahead and just take my pencil, and I'm just going to use the tip of my pencil, and I'm going to start carving into my foam block. You can see the crumbs there. Again, a duller pencil works best, because I can get that nice thick line. once I'm done with that, now I can go back in and kind of shade my, oh, got this one. So it's changing a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm going to extend these out. Extend this one out. All right. Extend this one out. So you can see, right, I think it might be a little hard to see, but you can see I carved it in, and then you can also see how deep I went. I'm going to go grab some clay real quick, and I'll show you how to stamp it in. Alright, so I got some clay. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. You can see how it's carved in. You can see the crumbs. You're just going to take the crumbs and throw them away in the garbage can. Paper, so a little bit of clay, just to test it, and so I'm going to kind of flatten it out. I got my stamp, and I'm going to take my stamp. A little bit of pressure. I don't want to press too hard because I don't want it to come through on this side. I don't want it, but then you can kind of see how the designs are there. Now it's picking up the pencil, but it is raised a little bit. I'll show you real quick. This will only take a moment, but I'll show you if you end up doing letters. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to be nice and deep. So I did my letters, SM, right? Flatten out some clay real quick. And a little bit of pressure. Again, don't want to put too much pressure that you see the square shape come through, but you can see how the SM now is from left to right. Okay, so that's how you go about making your stamps.